Why women quietly dominate home wealth creation. The coffee had gone cold again, another morning, balancing the noise of the house and the quiet question she kept avoiding. Can I really build something of my own? She stared at the cup, untouched, wondering if ambition was something she'd left behind when the kids arrived. She wasn't chasing millions, just freedom. The kind that fits between nap times and school pickups. The kind that doesn't require permission from anyone but herself. Part of her still felt guilty for wanting more, as if ambition had to disappear when motherhood began. Society had whispered it so often that she'd started to believe it, but something inside refused to settle. What she didn't realize yet was that millions of women were doing the same thing, quietly building empires from kitchen tables, turning invisible work into visible wealth. And most of them started exactly where she was, uncertain, exhausted, and wondering if they had what it takes. But the idea didn't come from a business book, it came from the mess on her kitchen table, a stack of bills, a phone lighting up with notifications, a notebook filled with half-finished thoughts. Sometimes the spark isn't dramatic. Sometimes it's just necessity wrapped in hope. She opened her laptop and started searching, not for get-rich-quick schemes or viral trends, but for something real, something she could control, something that felt like hers. What would you have done in her place? The first thing she discovered surprised her. According to recent studies, small home-based businesses led by women are growing 40% faster than other segments, proof that clarity often beats capital. Women weren't just participating in the economy, they were reshaping it from the inside out. And they were doing it quietly. No fanfare, no Silicon Valley headlines. Just consistent, strategic moves that compounded over time. She read about a woman who turned her love of organizing into a six-figure consulting business. Another who sold digital planners she designed during her daughter's afternoon naps. A third who built a thriving online community around sourdough bread and slow living. None of them had business degrees. None of them had venture capital. What they had was something more valuable, the ability to see opportunity in the ordinary. She smiled not because it was easy, but because it was finally starting to feel possible. Then came the doubt, the kind that whispers louder than failure. Her phone buzzed. A text from a friend asking if she wanted to grab coffee. Her youngest called from the other room. The laundry wasn't going to fold itself. The weight of 1,000 small responsibilities pressed in. Maybe success just wasn't meant for someone like her. Maybe she should just be grateful for what she had. Maybe wanting more made her selfish. But then she remembered something her grandmother once said. The world tells women to shrink so often that when we finally expand, it feels like rebellion. And maybe that's exactly what this was. A quiet rebellion. A reclaiming of space. She closed the doubt like a browser tab and kept reading. What she found next changed everything. Women weren't just starting businesses, they were choosing specific models that played to their strengths. Models that valued emotional intelligence, community building, and long-term thinking over aggressive growth and burnout culture. Digital products, consulting, coaching, content creation, service-based businesses that required time and skill rather than inventory and overhead. These weren't just viable options, they were thriving ecosystems built on trust and authenticity. Sometimes growth doesn't look like progress, it looks like staying. Staying curious, staying committed, staying even when no one's watching. She started small, a simple website, a free social media account, an email list with 3 subscribers, 2 of whom were her sisters and 1 was probably a bot. But it was a start. And starting was the hardest part. Her workspace was still her kitchen counter, but it no longer felt like chaos. It felt like possibility. The first month, she made $17. The second month, $43. By the 6th month, she'd replaced her old part-time income. By the end of the year, she was teaching others how to do the same thing. Not because she was extraordinary, but because she refused to let fear write the ending. What helped her most wasn't some secret strategy or hidden formula. It was realizing that women approach wealth creation differently, and that difference is a strength, not a weakness. Research shows that women entrepreneurs prioritize sustainability over speed, community over competition, and purpose over profit alone. They build businesses that support their lives rather than consume them. They ask better questions. Does this align with my values? Instead of just, will this make money? And the market responds. Because people are tired of being sold to, they're hungry for something real. She almost gave up until one message changed everything. A stranger had found her content and wrote to say it had helped them take the first step they'd been postponing for years. That message was worth more than any sale. It reminded her why she started. Impact isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just one person, one moment, one shift in perspective. As her business grew, she noticed patterns. The women who succeeded weren't necessarily the most talented or the most connected. They were the most consistent. They showed up even when inspiration didn't. They treated their side hustle like a real business, not a hobby. They invested in themselves before asking others to invest in them, and they weren't afraid to pivot. When something didn't work, they adjusted. When an opportunity appeared, they said yes. Flexibility became their competitive advantage. She learned to use tools that multiplied her time instead of draining it. Simple systems that automated repetitive tasks. Platforms that connected her with customers she'd never meet in person. Technology that turned her ideas into income while she slept. What helped me the most wasn't just finding the right tools. It was realizing that I didn't need permission to start small. I tested a few resources before finding what truly worked, and honestly, it changed everything. This isn't a promotion, just something that made my path a little lighter. I'll leave the link below if you want to explore it. But the real transformation wasn't financial, it was internal. She stopped apologizing for taking up space, stopped downplaying her achievements, stopped waiting for someone to validate her worth. She became the woman she'd been searching for, and she wasn't alone. Across the country, across the world, millions of women were doing the same thing. Building wealth in ways that felt aligned with who they were. Creating financial independence without sacrificing what mattered most. They were proving that you don't need a corner office to build an empire. You don't need a trust fund to take a risk. You don't need anyone's approval to bet on yourself. The statistics tell the story that individual voices can't always capture. Women-owned businesses now account for nearly half of all small businesses in North America. They generate trillions in revenue annually. They employ millions of people. And they're growing faster than any other demographic. But beyond the numbers is something even more powerful. A cultural shift. A recognition that traditional career paths don't work for everyone. That motherhood and entrepreneurship aren't opposites, they're partners. That building wealth from home isn't a compromise, it's a revolution. She thought about all the times she'd been told to wait. Wait until the kids are older. Wait until you have more time. Wait until you're more qualified. Wait until the stars align and the universe gives you permission. But waiting is just fear dressed up as patience. When she poured her coffee the next morning, it was still hot because this time, she wasn't rushing. She was building something that would outlast the doubt, the setbacks, the voices that said it couldn't be done. Her journey wasn't perfect. There were late nights and early mornings. There were moments when she questioned everything. There were weeks when nothing seemed to work, and months when growth felt invisible. But she kept going, because the alternative, living with the regret of never trying, felt worse than any failure. And somewhere along the way, she realized something profound. The wealth she was creating wasn't just financial. It was emotional, psychological, spiritual. It was the wealth of knowing she could take care of herself. The wealth of modeling possibility for her children. The wealth of proving to herself that she was capable of more than she'd been told. That's the story no one talks about. The invisible wealth that comes from betting on yourself and winning, not in spite of your circumstances, but because of how you chose to respond to them. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only, and does not replace consultation or assistance from a professional. Always consult a qualified professional for any questions related to finance, business, or investments. The women who dominate home wealth creation aren't lucky. They're strategic. They're patient. They're willing to start before they feel ready and keep going when no one's watching. They understand that empire building doesn't require an empire, just one good decision, repeated consistently over time. So if you've been sitting on an idea, waiting for the right moment, consider this your sign. The right moment is now. The perfect plan is the one you actually execute. The best version of yourself is the one who starts anyway. Tell us what part of her story resonated with you most and where you're watching from. Your journey might just inspire the next one. Tell us which country or city you're watching from. See you in the next video. Bye.